I'd just like to go ahead and review my opponent's evidence. My opponent, Kelsey, talks about how depression and emotion have a huge impact on the terminally ill patient's decisions. Yes, this is true. A person suffering with depression might obviously go first to think that, dying is my option. But our policy would ensure a full psychiatric evaluation by a medical expert to ensure that it's not just a person diagnosed with depression who wants to kill themselves. It's a person who's actually been terminally ill and has been suffering for a period of time. And she goes on to discuss that 93% of people who commit suicide are mentally ill. She's not stating that it's people with physician-assisted suicide. She's just stating suicides in general. It could be suicides over anything. So the facts would be totally different because it doesn't correlate with physician-assisted suicide. She just talks about suicides in the country in general. In a study done by the U.S. National Library of Medicine, it was reported that 50% of people with terminally ill patients report moderate to severe pain. This shows that pain isn't just an emotional thing or someone just thinking that they're in pain. This shows that it is real and severe. My opponent states that physician-assisted suicide would ruin the trust that patients have with their doctors, but it would not. Doctors aren't seeking patients to undergo physician-assisted suicide. Let me just stress that. It is the patients who want this. An article by CNN stated that in Vermont, only a doctor of medicine or osteopathy medicine may write the prescription. This would improve the relationship of the patient with their doctors because it's not just a person, say on the street or whatever, who's advocating for this. It is a doctor who knows their medical records and knows what they are going through. My opponent discusses that psychiatrics can be assigned to every terminally ill patient to avoid physician-assisted suicide. But that is also what our policy is trying to get through, so she's advocating for us, because physician-assisted suicide isn't trying to kill those off with mental illnesses, but we're trying to make sure that the precautions are set so that it's not people who have mental illness, such as depression, that are going into physician-assisted suicide. And I'd just like to stress that physician-assisted suicide isn't seeking out patients. It is the patient's choice for this death, and it gives Americans the option if the guidelines are followed. And Moises discusses that in 1929, organizations, religious groups, and Americans are against physician-assisted suicide, and this evidence is 16 years old. This is in 1999, sorry. This is in 1999. That's 16 years old worth of evidence. My evidence is from May of 2014, just last year, from Media Resources, stating that Americans are for physician-assisted suicide. His evidence is 16 years old. Let me just stress that again, and then mine is just from last year. And it shows that Americans' ideologies could change over time. Washington, Vermont, and Oregon all do not let applicants go through with physician-assisted suicide without following guidelines, and there's a process to be followed. Kelsey states that doctors can give medicine to ease pain, but it doesn't work. Kelsey states that doctors can give medicine to ease pain, but if this doesn't work, our policy states that after all treatment options have been exhausted, then physician-assisted suicide can take a role. So, yeah.